All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 7, Day 30. This is the game, folks. This really is it. There is a potential for a four-way tie for those last three slots to get into Starladder Season 7 final round. Of course, it is just those four teams. If RattleSnake, a.k.a. Team Kaipi, can take out Quantic here, I believe they will secure their seat, and Quantic will be that fifth-place team not able to make it. So this is absolutely the biggest match of today, the biggest match that we've seen in quite some while. If Kaipi can do it, and, well, that'll make it real easy. If Quantic can make it happen, I think we will be moving into tie-break mode, pending, of course, Kaipi beating 4FC after this, which most likely will happen. Bet your rares. So I'm Zyore, joining me is Hippie, and, well, dude, I don't know if we can overstate how awesome this match is.
Yeah, the stakes really couldn't be that much higher, and you can tell that Rattlesnake watched that last game. Look at those first two bans coming out from them.
Absolutely. Abaddon as well as the Treant Protector are going to be taken off the field, and they've been the driving heroes in today's cast. Day 30, oh man, it's been support-centric with those two crazy supports. They heal so much. First bands coming out from Quantic will be Naga and the Outworld Devourer, so a lot of scary heroes going to make it through. Bat Rider going to get first pick by Quantic, and Rattlesnake going to go ahead and first pick EO as well as Chen. That's going to open up for Quantic there to go ahead and grab themselves a Dark Seer to go with their Bat Riders. They're all very powerful heroes, but EO and Chen together, this could be, well, really both sides. I mean, with these heroes, it could be rough depending on how these drafts unfold. Time will tell. Bane going to be that third ban from Rattlesnake, but wow. Bat Rider and Wisp together. Awesome.
Yeah, both through in the same game, and it just goes to show you we've got now, as the metagame is developing, we haven't even gotten a patch since TI3, when Bat Rider and Io were considered the kings of the metagame. And, you know, Naga Siren really made her voice known there. But at the same time, look at how varied these bans are. Naga gets through reasonably often. We now see Wisp and Bat Rider getting through reasonably often. Abaddon and Tree are highly valued. Weaver gets banned out. OD. There's so many heroes worth first banning, first picking, etc. Darkseer as well, that we have a really varied metagame right now. It's actually really fantastic. I mean, it's so different from a lot of other MOBA games that are just not as diverse, quite frankly.
That's absolutely right. And that's one of the things I love about Dota, our ever-shifting metagame with all these powerful heroes. Important to note as well, we've said it a few times, and it's pretty common knowledge at this point, I think, but Quantic will have a stand-in here. Unfortunately, Fada has that broken hand. He's still out of commission. It's been like that for a while. Last match, they did have Crit as their stand-in. Here they have Arise, and I don't think that that's the same person. He could have changed his name, but I doubt it. We'll double-check once we get into the match. So still a stand-in nonetheless. And now Mania going to be standing in for Quantic as well. Was he in the last match? I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
He was. Okay, all right. I thought so. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I recognized the Mania tag from the game before. So anyhow, important things to note. Rattlesnake going to have their entire roster, Eternal Envy, that drafter. We'll see. We'll see indeed. So Rattlesnake going to continue their bans here. Bane as well as Nyx Assassin going to be the next two coming out following their support bans. Pardon me, the Treant as well as Abaddon. And Quantic going to ban out the Weaver as well as the Nature's Prophet. That will open up for a third pick, Gyrocopter, to go with their Darkseer and Bat Rider. Now Rattlesnake going to go ahead and grab their off-laner, a little bit of initiation power as well with a Clockwork to go with their Chen and EO. And there it is, Quantic in a fourth pick Visage. So talk about a shift in the meta. I mean, man, just a couple weeks ago we were seeing Visage first pick, first banned almost every game, and here he ends up being fourth picked. Oh, it's just so different. The meta's been turned upside down over the past 30 days.
It's nice, man. It's nice to see these shifts. And when it goes like from month to month and there's serious changes in strategy, that's how you know really you have a balanced game. No one is like a standout, dominating, you win every game hero. Sure, there are still heroes who are probably a touch too strong. Bat Rider, Wisp are definitely worth mentioning. Abaddon maybe. He's just kind of come onto the scene. We'll need a little more time to see if he settles or not. Naga will probably get a slight nerf in 7-9. Visage as well. But at the same time, it's not, like we said, it's not like there's just this stale, boring meta where it's the same 15 heroes every game.
Luna going to be that fourth pick to go with Clockwork, Chen, and EO. So an interesting choice there. Probably going to be that kind of pseudo tri-lane with Luna, Chen, and EO up in, and presumably the top lane there. And we like that. I like the Luna pick at least. I think you do as well.
Not
No,
in this
no,
situation.
not in this situation.
No.
Okay, all right,
No,
go
I
on.
think not with Gyro and Visage getting ready. I think that Quantic can be setting up for an incredibly powerful aggressive tri-lane right here. And if EO, Luna, Chen goes against an aggressive tri-lane, I expect Luna to just feed. Like,
Yeah,
I think Wisp will die, Luna will die, Chen won't be able to help them out enough because Visage and Gyro is already an incredibly good setup. You can pick basically any support into that who has like any kind of disable. Rubik certainly wouldn't be bad with the good spells to steal over on
and
this
there is
side. You can
Rubik
get the
going to be the
Eclipse, you
final
can get
ban.
the... Alright, yeah. Not surprised.
Yep. No, definitely not. You're exactly right. And that was one of the things I was going to comment on with Chen and EO. One of the issues that you can run into is you really want Wisp to be in that duo lane. The tri-lane Wisp is something we've come back to a lot of times that doesn't really work that well. Wisp is a hero that needs that initial bit of experience. He kind of wants to stay in lane and take some from that primary farmer. So with a Chen, that's good. But again, that limits what they can do to go up against an aggressive tri-lane. And boy, aggressive it's going to be. Jakiro going to be that final pick for Quantic. So that's going to be Jakiro, Visage, and Gyrocopter most assuredly in a tri-lane. Off-lane Darkseer and Batrider going to be in that mid most likely. Now they could also put Darkseer mid and just throw Batrider straight into the jungle if they want to secure that great farm on him. Kind of depends on how they want to do it. Also depends on what RattleSnake grabbed for their mid hero here. I imagine this will be their final pick. They do have about a minute of reserve time left, so we'll see what they want to grab.
They could also, I mean, if something here comes out that will theoretically do well against the Batrider and they don't feel comfortable and they'd rather put the Darkseer in mid, they could solo safe lane the Batrider against the Clockwork and not have any problems.
True that as well. So Quantic with a nice draft unfolding here, and well, RattleSnake going to take some time to deliberate. But yeah, kind of an interesting draft. Maybe this is one of these games where that Wisp first pick ends up being a little bit more of a detriment than a help, because you've got that Wisp where you feel like you need to try and build a team around him, and their roster just doesn't look quite as scary as Quantic. I mean, I see exactly what Quantic are going for here. They've got a lot of AoE. Between the Darkseer, the Gyro, and the Jakiro, they've got great initiation from Batrider. They've got a lot of teamfight potential. They've got that killer tri-lane to set up these lanes. RattleSnake, although they have 4 individually powerful heroes, I just don't see that same level of team cohesion that we see from Quantic here with this draft.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, no, not to knock Eternal Envy. Maybe he has a plan that I just don't understand here.
We'll see in a few seconds.
But yeah, I mean, all right. Wisp Timbersaw is really, really good, actually.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of that. But you know, I just feel like this looks almost like how the Chinese would draft Wisp. Remember when they first started playing around with Wisp? You may not have actually been watching, but basically, they were like, "Oh, Western teams really like Wisp. Let's try him out." And they draft him in like a normal lineup, and they'd get stomped. They wouldn't draft any sort of Wisp synergy, and they didn't really know how to use the relocate effectively. They didn't know how to make use of all that extra map mobility it gave him because it just wasn't their style of game. And to me, this is a team, sure, you can kind of benefit from some map mobility. You can drop the Luna in, but that's really dangerous until she builds up some hit points. I really hope she goes like Drum Yasha BKB or something. And you can drop the Sing Sing Timbersaw in, so it is going to be a mid Timbersaw and the offline Clockwork. I guess we could probably expect that. More likely to want to farm up that Timbersaw than the Clockwork. But you know, there's a couple like good synergies, but there's no really like what you really want is like one carry who works really well with Wisp, and then a couple supports who work reasonably well with Wisp, like 1 or 2, just extra gankers that you can drop around for when the carry's not available, and for when you can just take advantage of the relocate every time it's off cooldown, because you want to have those options. But I just don't feel that RattleSnake has that. I feel like they have Timbersaw, Clockwork, kind of, and that's really it.
I kind of agree. I really like the roster that Quantic was able to draft here. I love that Jakiro last pick for that little bit of additional aggression. So again, we see them talking a little bit here. Again, if Quantic can win this game, it will most likely be a 4-way tie for those last 3 slots to go into that big tiebreaker. If RattleSnake win this, that'll be it. We'll know exactly who our 4 top-tier teams are that are moving on to the next round, the 4-team double elimination bracket for the finals of Starladder Season 7. Again, folks, can't overstate how important this match is here. Let's go ahead and introduce our rosters here, though, as it looks like we have at least an idea of how the laning phase is going to come about. On our dire side, we do have Team RattleSnake, formerly known as Team Kaipi. In the mid, going to have Sing Sing playing on the Timbersaw. In the bottom lane, Bone 7 going to be playing on the Clockwork, and that means we will have a pseudo tri-lane up here in the top. Aoi 2000 going to be playing on the Chen, going to be in the dire jungle. We will see a farming Luna, of course, being played by Eternal Envy, and that leaves Pylai Dai playing on little EO there, the Wisp, going to be supporting the Luna in that top lane. Now on our Radiant side, we do have Team Quantic, also known as Flipside Mouse, again, whatever you want to call them, labeled as Quantic here for Starladder Season 7. We'll see their stand-in in the mid lane. We'll double check on him. Right now he is labeled as Arise. We do see Miguel playing on the Darkseer right now, going to be starting off in the Radiant jungle. The fucking Mad going to be supporting on the Jakiro down here in the bottom lane. He will be supporting with his buddy Mania on the Visage, and they will be supporting Sachka on that Gyrocopter down here in the bottom lane. So Clockwork going to have his work cut out for him here. Bone 7 already getting harassed back by the Visage as he does put down that nice aggressive lane ward there right outside the river entrance, exactly as we would expect. So Clockwork, well, best he can do is maybe stack the Ancients, try and block this, the pull camp here with that rocket flare as we've seen. Going to be able to push some creeps into the side there with the cogs to get a little bit of lane control back, but all in all, Gyrocopter going to have a great time farming down here. Conversely, Luna going to have a great time farming in the top lane as well, completely sacrificed as Darkseer has already moved into the jungle. So those two carries going to be off to a good start, both of them in complete free farm mode.
Yeah, I really, really can't believe that Quantic didn't want to take this aggressive. They have such an incredibly powerful killing tri-lane, and you know, the Gyro, of course, will get plenty of farm off of it as well, but that Rocket Barrage at level 1 does so much damage, and with the Visage Slow and the Jakiro Ice Path, I guess what they've basically decided is, you know, okay, so we've got this, and if we just get levels on our supports instead of worrying about shutting down the Luna, then they figure they'll just have a stronger mid game, and look at how well they're doing these pulls. They're getting the pulls all the way through the jungle to get themselves plenty of farm, both Bucking Mad and Mania right there.
Yep.
And so they're going to be having a reasonably good time getting levels right here. And so maybe we'll see that they actually manage to keep up with the amount of experience Rattlesnake will be getting with that dedicated jungler.
Exactly right. We talk about that dichotomy quite a bit, and we saw it in the last game where the one team with the Enchantress, the dedicated jungler, you'd expect that huge advantage, but the two supports of the side that really didn't have a jungler were able to keep up, and if they can keep doing pulls like that, they will be in good shape. Now, one of the things that is going to be really important here is this stand, and it is Arise. It's not Crit or anyone under a crazy name, so this is someone different from the last match we saw with Quantic. Again, they used Crit as their stand-in on that Dragon Knight in the last match. They're going to have Bat Rider up against the Sing Sing Timbersaw here, which is going to be a tough matchup, though Bat Rider is holding his own. He is 12-2 against the now 11-0 Sing Sing on that Timbersaw. The first rune here at the 2-minute mark is going to go the way of Bat Rider. It's going to be a haste. He's going to be able to throw it in the bottle, and Sing Sing not going for bottle right now. He does not have one. Did go for Boots of Speed first, the Stout Shield, Healing Salve, and then that Magic Stick right away. 2 points in the Reactive Armor, 1 in the Timber Chain, and 1 in Whirling Death here at level 4. And that's the Timbersaw build I love to see early on. I hate that S4 build where he goes 3 points Whirling Death, 2 points Reactive Armor at level 5 with no Timber Chain. I like that Sing Sing getting that additional bit of mobility here against the Bat Rider early on. I think it's a smart choice.
So Eternal Envy, because he's not pressured, is about to have like a 3.5-minute Midas.
Oh,
he's literally skipped all other items, has a Midas recipe, and is 100 gold away from the gloves.
Yeah, you're right. That's the fastest Midas I've ever seen, I think. I mean, he's going to be 2 creep kills away here at the 3:20-minute mark. I don't think we've ever seen one that fast. We did see like a 4-minute Midas come out one game when a tower got knocked down by Alliance in the very early mark on a lifestealer, I think, in one game. But this is going to be great for Eternal Envy. And, oh, that's the Darkseer taking down. I was going to say, oh, someone's going down. And so that's going to be interesting. Sachka, I mean, he's farming great as well. They are even in last hits, 23-2 on the Luna, 22-5 on the Gyrocopter. But yeah, there it is. About a 340 hand of Midas. Eternal Envy will be a force to be reckoned with, I think, no doubt, in this match.
Yeah, I mean, God, again, this just goes back to, I keep thinking, why isn't Quantic trying to kill that Luna? I mean, like I said, I kind of explained where I thought their thought process was going. Just because I think I understand it doesn't mean I actually agree with it. I think pressuring that Luna and that Wisp and basically neutering any potential they have, and just if you farm up your Bat Rider and your Darkseer and just get them a bunch of levels while also denying the enemy carry, you're doing fine.
Yeah.
Believe me, you're doing just fine.
No, I agree. I would love to see that rotation as well try and come out, and then that would open up some room for Darkseer here. I mean, he could very easily hold the lane against Clockwork. Yes, it would give Bone 7 some farm. Right now, they're doing a great job denying his experience. He's only level 2, level 1 Cogs, level 1 Rock. rocket flare. So they're doing a great job boxing out Bone 7, but one of the great things about Luna from the enemy perspective is that she's kind of easy to lock down. Yeah, she's very fast. She's got the highest starting movement speed in the game at 330, but she's got no escape mechanism other than that, and before she hits level 6, that eclipse mark is when you can set up those kills on her pretty damn easily, and Wisp can come in with that tether to try and help out, but all in all, should make it pretty easy. They are going to get aggressive here in the mid lane. Lasso going to be used onto Sing Sing. He is only level 5 right now, going to throw the Timber Chain. It's not going to connect. Down he goes. Timbersaw going to fall. That first blood will get given to the Radiant, though. It is going to get split amongst the heroes as no one grabs that last hit, but still a nice kill in that mid lane. As soon as Batrider hit level 6, we saw a small experience advantage, and they used that to set up the kill. Very nicely done by Quantic right there. All the while on the bottom lane, they also set up a kill onto the Clockwork. I caught the very tail end of it, basically the call down obliterating him, but kind of same story, different chapter, I guess it seems there. The Gyrocopter now level 6. The call down enough to finish him off.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very powerful nuke at level 6. I mean, that's one of the best things about Gyrocopter is how much incredible nuke damage he puts off at the beginning of the game. I mean, his carry potential is pretty reasonable. It did get nerfed a while back when they took the flat cannon from 18 to 30 seconds on the cooldown, so he can't just... Basically, the idea being he couldn't have 2 flat cannons go off in the same fight quite as easily. Because when you have plenty of damage, that flat cannon can rip through all your supports, and getting 10 attacks on everyone within 1,000 range was totally brutal. But as it is now, he's still quite powerful, and his early game potential is a real reason to pick him up, and he synergizes so well with that Darkseer, so well with that Jakiro, that we really should see Quantic, if they can get a good, like any sort of good mid-game setup. That Darkseer obviously looks like he's going to be farming pretty well. I think he might be going that Midas build that's been popularized by Bone 7.
Yep, it looks like it. He's got Gloves of Haste. He does have the bottle and the Stout Shield, as well as 900 gold in the bank. Ooh, we're going to move into a pause here. Eternal Envy apparently needs a second. Got to switch his anime music. Uh-oh. So, well, it'll give us a good chance to talk here as Chen is going to pop out. Oh, poor Bulba. Going to pop out of the jungle here. Up in the top lane, RattleSnake going to be pressuring this tier 1 tower. It is at about half health. Right now, Chen has a Satyr as well as a Hellbear Smasher. But down in the bottom, Bone 7 going to be in big trouble. Miguel as well as Mania going to come around the backside of the tower, and they're just going to dive it. The level 6 Darkseer is going to be able to surge around. He does have Ion Shell on, and yeah, Cog's going to be kind of working against Bone 7 a little bit there. It will allow for a 1-for-1 at least. Timbersaw is going to pour it in. He's going to be able to finish off the Darkseer as Clockwork falls. Now the Chakram going to be able to be used as well. Io going to come in, and that's going to be a kill on the Visage. So that's going to be a 2-for-1. Nicely done by RattleSnake, and well, in the top lane, they're able to grab a tower kill as well, so they get a nice cost-effective exchange down in the bottom. And that tower, the first tower kill of the match, mind you, that's going to be a nice gold swing in favor of RattleSnake. They were trailing by about 750 or so, now leading by about 500 gold and a nice 1,200 experience advantage here at the 7-minute mark. 3-2. Quantic still with the kill advantage, but great support already. RattleSnake using that mobility of the Wisp. Pylai Die, obviously level 6, did relocate down there, and that did help things out a little bit with that tether, though Timbersaw may have been able to finish off Visage all alone. Pylai Die using that mobility to get himself a little bit of extra gold there as well to get an assist on the board.
I don't actually think he would have. I think the tether stun is what let them get him, because he was going to just TP out, and the Timbersaw doesn't quite have enough burst damage to just pop the Visage in one combo or anything yet, since the Whirling Death is only level 1 so far. So yeah, I think that the relocate from the Wisp is actually exactly what let them get that. So good use. I mean, I said the Timbersaw was probably the best partner for the Wisp right there, and bam! They just drop him in, get a lot of damage done. Easy kills.
Yep.
Easy kills, easy life.
Maybe we're right. Wisp actually did grab that last hit as well, so maybe I'm underestimating the power of the Wisp. We talked about the damage that those spirits can put out, and with that long range, we've certainly seen many an occasion where Wisp able to get those cleanup kills where otherwise inaccessible into the trees. So yeah, don't underestimate the Wisp. Definitely a good rule of thumb that I should try to follow here. As we would expect here in the early stage, Luna off to a good start. Eternal Envy at about 4.4k on the net worth chart. Right now, Gyrocopter at about 3.5k himself, so he is trailing, as he well should be. We talked about that 3.5-minute hand to Midas. Now Luna going to be able to finish up the power treads and get a casual Morbid Mask for now. Probably going to be a very early Helm of the Dominator. And again, that early tower kill going to help quite a bit. Down in the bottom lane, Bone 7 going to be in a bit of trouble here. Going to get caught by the Ice Path, but a relocate going to bring the Luna down. The Cog's going to keep the Gyrocopter in place. That'll be the end of Gyro. Now Sing Sing going to make it down here as well. They're going to try to initiate on Jakiro. He's going to fall. Visage on his way in. Batrider only level 8. He's going to be here. Wisp going to take the Luna back out. So now RattleSnake may find themselves in a little bit of a sticky situation here. And and invisibility going to be used on Sing Sing, and Bone 7 just going to pour it out. So they'll be happy with their 2-for-0 exchange, and Wisp just going to take Luna back to farming. Probably could have stayed down and perhaps picked up another kill. Eternal Envy still has the Eclipse off cooldown, so could have been a bit more aggressive, but they're going to take the safe route, go back to the top lane, and it's a free lane up here. So Eternal Envy going to be able to grab some credit for some kills there. Timbersaw and EO grabbed the 2 last hits, but going to get a couple of assists, and now just go back to free farming here in the top lane. Use that Midas in the jungle. Oh, this rotation for Eternal Envy is getting scary. He was 1,000 gold ahead of Gyrocopter just a moment ago. Now that they were able to kill Gyro and Luna came down for that experience, now 2,000 gold ahead of Gyro. That Midas mixed with the Wisp taxi service. Oh man, is it deadly. 4-3 here at the 9.5 minute mark. Rattlesnake leading.
Yeah, and I do actually absolutely think that Pyladine made the right choice, bring Eternal Envy back. He was getting kind of low, and Luna is so squishy, and oh, Gyro.
Yep, down to the bottom lane again, kind of a same story, different chapter-like scenario for one of my catchphrases that is overused indeed, but Sing Sing may not get away. Is there a lasso on the Batrider? No, Batrider does have a blink now. He is level 8 again, that stand-in Arise, but unfortunately, the level 1 lasso, a shorter cooldown than he would like, not going to be able to use it there to finish off Sing Sing. So that will be a 1-for-1, the Clockwork for the Gyrocopter, but Clockwork level 7, Bone 7 has been able to make a nice bit of recovery here. Again, having that hook shot, the 4 points in battery assault. That damage output from Clockwork is scrumptious. So I think they'll be happy to trade a Clockwork for the Gyrocopter in many a situation. We did see Chen pressuring that tier 1 tower while all that was happening as well. So Rattlesnake still holding on to their lead here. Just about 3,000 gold, somewhere about 3,500 experience, something like that. Again, 5-4 here at the 10.5 minute mark. Meanwhile, EE Sama just continuing to farm away. What's he got already? All right, going to go for that early Helm of the Dominator. I'll be curious to see what build Luna transitions into. As you mentioned, maybe a casual Yasha into BKB would be a strong choice here, given the amount of magic damage as well as crowd control that Quantic have on their...
I prefer
5-man
casual
roster.
drum into BKB, but yeah,
okay.
definitely.
All right, Jesus, okay. But you're right. I agree, actually, now that I say it.
I just don't want to be misquoted.
Yeah, true.
I gotta be careful.
I have that bad habit of paraphrasing incorrectly. Do it on the cosplay room all the time. It's a bad habit. But we are going to see Aoi 2000 get close to that mech. He does have the buckler as well as the headdress complete. And uh-oh, now Jakiro going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Chen doing a lot of damage with those creeps. The Familiar is going to come in, as will a Call Down. Going to be able to do a little bit of damage here. A nice vacuum. The Jakiro going to be the first to fall, but now Luna going to go down as well. Did he manage to get the Eclipse off? Indeed he did. So again, did a nice bit of return damage. Now we're going to see Mania fall. Looks like it's going to be a 2-for-1 or 2-for-4, pardon me, exchange. Make that a 2-for-5. Batrider going to get cleaned up. Quantic in big trouble. Wisp did buy back, was able to relocate that Tether Stun, helping to set up that kill onto the Batrider. Beautifully done by Rattlesnake. Chen going to be able to survive with 3 hit points to spare, something like that. Aoi 2000 literally just getting away by the skin of his teeth. A fabulous team fight for Rattlesnake.
For everyone who says Iron Branches aren't a big deal, 4 hit points right there. 4 hit points. One branch right there saved his life. Buy your Iron Branches, people.
Yep. A scary team fight right there. And right at this stage, I think we would, just looking at the roster, say Quantic has a little bit of an edge. They've got that huge amount of crowd control that we talked about, that bit of team fight synergy, Batrider with the blink to start things off, a Hand of Midas on each side, one on Luna, one for Darkseer. I'd give the edge to Quantic and an all things equal kind of engage there, but Rattlesnake just proving to have a bit more sustain, and one of the great things about Wisp, if you kill him in a team fight and he buys back, he can get right back in the action just about right away, and that's exactly what we saw right there, and that definitely helped turn the tide. Also, the Eclipse coming out from Eternal Envy didn't hurt either. That did a good bit of damage there as well.
Yeah, and you can't forget that the Timbersaw with some extra farm, some extra levels, puts out a crap ton of damage, although interestingly, Sing has gone for 4 points in the reactive armor and only 1 in the Whirling Death to start. He's gone very, very defensive.
That's true, yeah, and 4 points in Timber. It doesn't get much more defensive than that reactive armor, than that increased mobility from the Timber Chain. Interesting, but still, you're right. I mean, he is the highest level, or pardon me, him and Luna are the highest levels in the match. Luna is now level 11, Sing Sing is just about 11. He is 10 and just a few creep kills shy of getting that level 2 chakram, but yeah, he is no slouch in the damage department. He did go for an early chainmail, so that makes me wonder a little bit what build Sing Sing is going for here. Could this possibly be a blade mail first Timbersaw that we're going to see? He's got another 1,200 gold in the bank. And
could be Medallion of Courage to get him some mana stability.
True, and also he went Power Treads first. We almost always see Timbersaw going for the Arcane Boots. So Sing Sing, again, to talk about his build here, obviously a little bit intimidated by the amount of burst damage that Quantic can put out, so going for that very, very defensive build and even getting Power Treads for that bit of additional strength over the Arcane Boots. So an interesting choice. We almost always see Arcane Boots into either Rod of Atos or a Bloodstone first. That is the most common build by some ridiculous margin on Timbersaw.
Yeah, I think Bloodstone first is almost, I mean, Arcane Boots into Bloodstone is almost like the
The
99%
standard, the
standard
norm. Yeah.
build. It's definitely standard, and I'd call it even more so. It's just
It's
way
amazing.
beyond.
It's really, really
Just
good.
well, yeah, I mean, it gives you it's a hero you want to be playing aggressive on, so you're going to be stacking up Bloodstone charges. It's a hero who the more mana regen he has, the more dangerous he gets. So the Bloodstone again, every charge you stack up is significant. The Bloodstone obviously helps keep you in for longer portions of the game because you get that faster respawn time. If you do happen to die, you get that team heal because you're in so deep. It's just there's so many good things about that Bloodstone for Timbersaw, and it's very, very rare to see someone not go for it. So I'm curious to see what Singh really does go for after this, what I presume could only be a medallion.
Medallion, Medallion probably the wise choice.
It could
here,
be
though.
a blade mail. It could be a blade mail for all of the magic damage that's coming out. You could definitely be right about that.
I've seen at least once where we've seen a Timbersaw go for a blade mail, not necessarily first, but an early blade mail in a situation where he feels like he's going to be that tanky presence. And although, I mean, Bone 7, he is going to be that kind of initiator. It looks like he's going to be getting a blade mail as well, has that broadsword as well as the Robe of the Magi already on the Boots of Speed. So maybe they're both just thinking, all right, blade mails will win us this game. Let's return some of this crazy AoE damage that they can put out. I can certainly get behind that mindset there of Rattlesnake. Eternal Envy still tearing up the net worth charts right now. And actually, Darkseer, the second place second place on the net worth chart, as of course he is does have that Hand of Midas, so not too surprised about that. But still, Eternal Envy going to be about 2,000 gold ahead, and he's going to be able to take out a nice triple stack here at the Dire Ancients. Bat Rider on his way over though. He does have an invisibility rune on, so this could be a little bit rough. Pylai Die is here on the Wisp as well, and they may set this up. Oh no, this could be bad. The Tether going to be used. Courier going to come in. The Tether is going to stun the Bat Rider while still invisible. He's going to initiate here. He's going to use the lasso on Luna. Eternal Envy going to be in big trouble. Chen Ult going to come out. Eternal Envy going to survive for now, but he's going to fall. Not going to burn the ulti. Pylai Die going to be in some trouble here as well. That's going to be a 2-for-0 to start things off. Luna going to buy back right away. Going to be able to port to that tier 2 tower as Shakiro gets taken out. Eternal Envy coming in. Going to blow the ulti. Not going to get too many beams off. Will be enough to finish off Sachka on that gyrocopter though, so definitely worth it. Right now, a 2-for-2 as the support from RattleSnake has come in, and it might not be over yet. Miguel on that Darkseer headed for the hills. He will survive. So there you have it. Nice work from Quantic to secure that kill onto the Luna, but RattleSnake with an even better recovery. I think a much warranted buyback there from Eternal Envy as he does secure that kill on the gyrocopter.
Yeah, and it gets him right back in to help finish off that farming, and it means that because they take that fight, Quantic can't just turn with the gyrocopter and take that ancient stack. That's really the biggest part of this, is they don't get to not only win a fight and kill Eternal Envy, but also steal all the effort he's put into that ancient stack and give it straight to the gyrocopter. That is a really, really big deal, because both of these are heroes who clean up ancient stacks regularly as a way to increase their farm.
Right, exactly right. We see that Helm of the Dominator first, usually, not usually, but a lot of times on Gyrocopter. Not going to be going for that build here. Right now he is level 11 on Phase Boots, Ogre Club, Ring of Aquila, as well as that Magic Wand. So there is a bit of a dichotomy there in his ability to clear out the ancient stacks super easily, but you're exactly right. Both of them with that, the bouncing, what is it actually called? The Moonglaive? Moonglaive, that is
still
what it's called.
Moonglaive, yes.
Yep, still Moonglaive.
Which is interesting, because you'd think that would be one they'd change, but
Right.
apparently not.
I guess those are two pretty generic words, Moonglaive. But regardless, I'm going to be able to clear out the stacks, the sort of Moonglaive to Gyrocopter's flat cannon, so they do have a triple stack there on the Radiant side of the map as well. Bone 7 with a nice long-range ulti there, going to connect to the Chikiro. He's going to put that Blade Mail on right away, but whoa, look at all that AoE damage coming out from Quantic. Right now, they're not getting better this fight. It is going to be a 1-for-2 exchange. Bat Rider going to escape by the skin of his teeth as why did I say Gyrocopter? The Timbersaw going to get taken out. They are going to find the Visage in the tree, so that will be a 1-for-3. A great team fight for RattleSnake, but I think Quantic showed one thing right there. Their, quote, wombo combo can be quite scary if they can get it off. Jakiro got killed before he could use the Macro Pyre, so if that was thrown down right there, that could have been huge. Could have been an opportunity for Quantic to take a good team fight, but unfortunately now going to be 9-15 as we approach the 17-minute mark. That looks like they are going to press up and try and take out this tier 1 tower, but there will be some defense coming its way. Visage Familiars as well as Jakiro going to port in here now that he's respawned. That will repel the pushing power of RattleSnake, who again, all they want to do is clear out their stacked Ancients, but it seems that that's just not going to go their way as some of the Ancients are still alive here. But again, RattleSnake with just a staggering lead.
Those double blade mails from Clockwork and Timbersaw just melted that gyrocopter as he was trying to put out all that AoE damage. And I mean, hats off to you, man. You were totally right. He was going blade mail. I should have thought about it. So,
yep.
Definitely a good call. And just the AoE damage I mean, going on to a pair of blade mails when you're as squishy as this gyro is right now, only, 1,100 hit points, it's so brutal. He just melted to his own damage.
Yep. Yep, you're exactly right. There's no other way to describe it. The Blade Mail's great choices here, countering that kind of mid-game stride that Quantic had. Again, we talked about they have a team that's kind of centric around this mid-game timing with all that AoE. Once they get those level 2 ultis, once the Wall of Replica starts to come into play here. But the Blade Mail's just straight up countering that. It's pretty easy to get the timing. Blade Mails last for, 4.5 seconds? That's a pretty long time that you can pop it and force the other team to say, hey, all right, we need to make this wombo combo happen, or we need to just disengage. And one of the things with Gyrocopter, the call down, you know it's coming before it lands, so that gives RattleSnake the ability to save those blade mails and just wait for the call down, and then kind of run into it and say, please call down me, Gyrocopter, I double dog dare you. And that's kind of what we saw in that last little skirmish right there, and we could see another skirmish heat up again. Quantic, although they got cleaned up in the last team fight, they want to make it happen. We see a little deforestation happening there from the Bat Rider. The Clockwork gonna throw the hook shot, not gonna connect, so unfortunately for Bone 7, not gonna have that easy initiation this time as he did in that last fight. That may make things a little bit more difficult from RattleSnake. Don't forget, the last fight we saw did start off with Clockwork leading the way. He did have that blade mail, of course, to start things off. But we'll see. Quantic's team hell-bent on taking out this tower. And whoa, Mania! Why are you up so far forward, my man? You're going to get taken out. There is going to be an Ice Path Macro Fire coming out here, but oh my god, look how much damage is coming out on both sides. They're going to return some, but there it is. Bat Rider going to be able to get a double kill onto the Luna and the Timbersaw. The EO going to fall as well. Chen, the only one left alive. That's the wombo combo we were talking about right there. Quantic now going to equalize. They're going to grab that tier 1 tower, and they're going to trade a 4-for-1. Chen, the only one to survive now, 13-16 at the 19-minute mark. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to make it 2. Wow, what an explosive bit of power. The Macro Pyre, the make it or break it seems, with a beautiful, beautiful vacuum.
Absolutely, and I cannot give, too much credit to Miguel right there with a perfectly timed mechanism to keep everyone alive, despite the fact that they're, Jakiro was taking so much blade mail damage. They were just standing in that macro fire with the blade mail like, you're gonna die, aren't you? But no, Miguel got in right up next to him, popped that mechanism, kept him alive, and ended up, that was a 5 for 0, yeah?
4-for-1. Chen survived, but
right.
No, Gyrocopter gonna get caught down here. We'll see Sing Sing and Pylai Die arrive late to the party, but they brought the chips and they threw him down. Gyrocopter's corpse there as he got taken out by Bone 7. But yeah, you're right, a 1-for-4 there in that team fight.
Absolutely brutal. Like, wow.
So,
yeah,
wow.
I mean, that started with Mania being in, like, this ridiculous position.
Oh
my god.
It just went from a 5,000 gold deficit to RattleSnake to in favor of Quantic by 1,000 gold. I mean, that's a 6,000 gold swing in a matter of 30 seconds. I mean, they took that huge team fight, then took 2 tower kills. Quantic, I thought this was going to be, all right, RattleSnake just a little one-sided here. Quantic showing us what they're made of. They just leveled out this game. They're back in it. They still have a small experience gap to climb, but they got a chance here. Luna now still leading the way on the net worth chart, only by about 1,200 over that Dark Seer. Item pickups have been made. Bat Rider now has the Force Staff to go with the Blink Dagger. Gyrocopter getting close to that. BKB has the 2 core items, the Ogre Club and the Mithril Hammer. Dark Seer was, as we mentioned, did have that mech that was perfectly timed in the last fight, and another 2.3k gold. So Miguel probably going to be working towards a nice early sheep stick here. That'd be my best guess, but time will tell. He's going to have a lot of gold to play with. Ashivas is something that we do see in situations like this with a team with a lot of AoE magic damage. Shiva's definitely does synergize well with that, and we haven't seen really any other core items come out from RattleSnake quite yet. Luna does have a BKB to go with that early Helm of the Dominator, so that is good news for Eternal Envy, now level 14, but wow, Quantic with just an explosion of equalization there, but RattleSnake, they're going to do a 5-man smoke, and it looks like they're hungry for blood, and they're going to get a little aggressive.
Yeah, I just gotta really quickly get in. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There is no team too stacked that a good wombo combo lineup can't bring them down. I mean, it doesn't happen often that a team is so farmed that such a well-executed team fight like that can't turn the game around.
And their smoke here going to get revealed, at least Bone 7's is. Everyone else still going to be invisible. They're going to look for an opportunity to engage. Bone 7 going to try and hookshot over the trees, no doubt about it here. Going to scout it out with that rocket barrage. He's just going to go in, going to do a hookshot to the face with that Jakiro. Jakiro going to be in big trouble here, not going to be able to get anything off. They're going to be able to finish off the Jakiro as well. Oh no, now. This is looking a little bit bad for Quantic. We'll see the Timber Chain forward. They want to try and engage on that Batrider. He's going to be hasted, and he'll make it away, but that's going to be two very easy kills. The Gyrocopter and the Jakiro going to get a first-class ticket back to the well. Now going to be 19-13 here at the 22.5-minute mark. Total tower count is 3-1 in favor of Quantic right now. So again, RattleSnake with the additional equalizer now the other way, taking some of their lead back with 2 free kills.
Yeah, absolutely. And that did burn both Gyrocopter and Luna's 10-second BKBs there. So,
okay.
I mean, Gyro wanted to man fight. He saw the Wisp porting. He was like, all right, I got this. You know, pop my BKB, pop my Rocket Barrage, get everything going. And then when people came out of the trees to backstab him, he was like, well,
yep.
I made poor choices today.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It kind of exactly what he did right there. Tried to stand his ground, but didn't work out too well for him. So now Sing Sing is going to be able to pick up a vitality booster here, and I wonder, my brain wonders, methinks this could be a Rod of Atos. I don't know that he's going to go to Bloodstone next, and we've seen that Rod of Atos come out onto the Timbersaw a couple of times, an item that synergizes with him so well. You use that slow, makes it almost impossible to get out of that chakram. We'll see what he wants to do. We see Bone 7 cancel casting that hook shot. He's going to go in. He's going to connect with the Jakiro. Again, they know how much damage you can put out. Jakiro going to be the first to fall. The Blade Mail is going to be used right away. Clockwork going to get taken out. The BKB on Desachka going to be able to keep him alive. Now we'll see the Darkseer fall as well. That's going to make it a 2-for-1 as the Jakiro and Darkseer are taken out in exchange for the Clockwork. Now Visage going to fall. Going to be a 3-for-1. Eternal Envy, though, he's not out of the clear yet. That BKB going to be on cooldown. Going to take a homing missile to the face. Wisp going to be able to... Oh, no. Chen going to send him back. Pardon me. I thought that was a relocate. He will survive, but now Sing Sing in trouble. A nice vacuum. That'll finish off the Timbersaw. There was a buyback on the Darkseer. Right now, 2 dead on both sides. It's a 3v3 on the field. It's not over yet. Gyrocopter's still not out of the clear. He's going to have an earn charge on him. He is going to be able to make it away, though, it looks like. And yes, he will. They were in hot pursuit. Is there going to be a relocate? Nope, still on cooldown. Not going to try and chase him down. So it will be a 3-for-2, if I'm not mistaken. RattleSnake going to be able to take the advantage there, but the buyback from Miguel going to be worth it as he does set up some additional kills upon his return.
Yeah, it helps, you know, get a little more pressure, take a little pressure off of Quantic for sure, because if RattleSnake takes a clean team fight, you can expect with both the Chen and the Luna Aura, they can knock down towers very, very quickly. So they'll be able to get, and they've only knocked down 1 so far, so a lot of this gold kind of resurgence that we saw from the side of Quantic was because they got 3 towers so far, as opposed to the 1 of RattleSnake. So all RattleSnake really needs is 1 good team fight to get a whole lot of quick gold in.
Yep, and here we go. I just saw Batrider lasso something. What was that? Was that a Chen creep?
No, it was an incredibly good... let's see here. Who did he actually lasso? I think he lassoed the Clockwork.
Oh.
And what Pylai Dai did was he relocated right next to himself, did a short-range tether in, and pulled him out of the tether and sacrificed himself to save the Clockwork. It was really clutch.
Wow, I'm sad that I missed the beginning of that and only caught the tail end of the lasso with no one in it, but there it is. Pylai Dai is going to be in the grave on that Wisp. That's going to be a 5v4 on the field. Now Quantic going to have a bit of an option here to try and make something happen. There is going to be the Eclipse down on Luna for another 30 seconds or so. Maybe perhaps that's why they're trying to be so aggressive here. I think the kind of golden ticket for Quantic is just going to be to keep this Jakiro alive. I mean, between the Ice Path, that huge crown control, as well as the huge bit of AoE damage from the Macro Pyre, it's sort of a requirement for that Wombo combo to happen here. There we go. I'm trying to get my camera stuck on Jakiro. There it is. And these past 2 engages, maybe the past 3, Jakiro has been the target of choice. He takes that hook shot in that one case right to the face, and they just take him out before the Macro Pyre can come down. RattleSnake obviously realize how much damage the Jakiro can do and how much of a detriment it can be, and they know there's not much they can do about it. Once the Macro Pyre comes down, that level 4 vacuum has a lot of range on it. If they get pulled into the Macro Pyre, followed up by some sort of an Ice Path or other disable, they're in trouble, and that's just a positioning thing. The easiest way to deal with it is to focus down that Jakiro. So that's going to be one of the things in these upcoming team fights we'll have to keep an eye for. Will RattleSnake continue to be able to get those keen initiations onto that Jakiro? So it looks like here on the Courier, nope, okay, I was going to say, what's Sing Sing working on here? Again, he does have that Vitality booster. Going to go into a Hood of Defiance, so just going to be a casual Vitality booster here. I saw some folks in chat. Rod of Atos, Bloodstone. Could very well be a Bloodstone, folks. I still like that Rod of Atos choice. Usually we see it as one of the first items, though, given that he's going so defensive with that Hood. You know, who knows? Maybe it could even be a Heart. You never know at this point, based on the way Sing Sing is building. I mean, he's just going all-out tank mode here on the Timbersaw. Kind of a different different take on that hero a little bit, though the Bloodstone is very tanky as well. So I guess kind of different means to a similar end, as it may be.
Yeah, he's just, I think you're right. They're so concerned about that Macropyre damage. Singh says, all right, I want to be able to, fight in that Macropyre. I don't want to need to be quite as worried about it as some other people might be. So yeah, and ooh, Luna picking up that Satanic for Eternal Envy. That's
Yep.
going to be a big deal in these upcoming team fights. She doesn't put out a huge amount of damage, but with BKB and Satanic, it's going to be insanely hard to bring her down.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. Clockwork now with an Oblivion Staff. I'm guessing he's going to be working towards an Orchid, a very nice aggressive item choice from Bone 7. Fairly frequently we see him grab that armlet on Clockwork, which is a very different item choice, but still a similar kind of aggressive flavor. Of course, the Orchid going to work a little bit better to try and shut down whoever he initiates on. Again, that Jakiro, I think, going to be their golden ticket. If he can get a nice Orchid on Jakiro to follow up a hook shot, that could be the initiation they're looking for. Now, Bat Rider going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, Bone 7 not going to connect with the hook shot. Bat Rider, of course, going to know the jig is up. He is going to blink away. A Force Staff going to be used on that Dark Troll Summoner right there in the control of Chen to try and grab an ensnare, but alas, not going to have the range, and Rattlesnake's smoke will be revealed. They are going to back it up here. Looks like they're just going to rotate down to this bottom lane and try and finish off this Tier 1 tower. They've only taken out one tower. The tower count now is 4-1. Very well, maybe 4-2 here in the upcoming moments. A lot of health on this tower. Glyph going to be used right away here to mitigate some of their pushing power, and it looks like Quantic want to try and come up from behind. They are smoked up right now. Uh-oh, this could be a little bit scary for Rattlesnake. It's going to be all about the initiation. Clockwork with the hook shot still on cooldown for another 15. This could be exactly what Quantic have been waiting for here. The tower going to fall. They're going to grab Eternal Envy with the lasso there to start things off. Jakiro going to come down. Call down going to be used as well. Macropyre still hasn't come out. The Wombo combo not going to be quite as clean as they would have hoped for. First of all is going to be the Jakiro. Does get the Macropyre off. Not going to do a ton of damage. Bone 7 going to charge forward here. He's going to take a lot of damage as well. Sachka still going to survive. He's going to take a Lucent Beam to the face. Going to be able to make it out. That's going to be a 1-for-1. Jakiro for Clockwork, and I think that's where the fight's going to end. So a nice effort to try and finish off the Luna, but now with that Satanic as well as the BKB, even if she gets caught in the lasso, she has so much utility just to bring herself back up to full health. Eternal Envy going to walk away from that fight at literally full health.
Yeah, they're just going to take a free Roshan off this because Quantic has to go heal.
Yep.
And EE, with especially with the Wisp tethering him and popping the Urn if he needs to help him tank up, it's going to be a very, very easy Rosh kill, and the extra damage everyone's doing from the Luna aura means it'll go down pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Rise.
Oh, he's going to try to do it perhaps. Arise going to be on the side on that Bat Rider. He is Fireflied right now. Roshan at about 1,000 hit points. Rattlesnake know exactly what's going on here. They're being very cautious not to kill it too quickly. The Flame Break going to come in. Uh-oh, Bat Rider. He's going to be able to finish it off. The Dire going to be able to do it. Bat Rider going to snatch the Aegis. Now they're going to engage. Eternal Envy taking a lot of damage here. They're going to be able to lock him down. Huge plays coming out from Quantic right here. That's going to be a 1-for-0, and they get the Aegis. Is it burned? No. Still in the inventory of the Bat Rider. It does get finished off by Rattlesnake, so they get that little bit of gold bonus, but Quantic again showing us they're not out of this game. Gold graph is completely leveled out. Experience graph in favor of Rattlesnake, but not by much. Only about 3,000. This tier 2 tower in the mid lane now going to fall. That's going to be a gold swing in favor of Quantic once again, as that tower count now 5-2 in their favor. Arise going to try and press forward, looking for someone to potentially lasso here. Not going to find it. He does now have Boots of Travel as well as a Gem of True Sight there to go with the Aegis of the Immortal. Glyph going to be used by Rattlesnake. Eternal Envy going to be down for another 33 seconds. Is going to be forced to use the buyback. Bone 7 going to go straight in. Macropyre going to come down. Bone 7 in big trouble. He falls before the fight starts. Another beautiful vacuum straight into the Macropyre. Now Mania taking a lot of damage. Oh no! It's looking bad for Quantic. They lose their Visage. Darkseer, Jakiro, now the Bat Rider as well. He goes down twice. Rattlesnake clean it up. An overcommit from Quantic. The pipe has been completed by Timbersaw. Oh no. That was what they used to turn the fight. The Hand of God. Oh my god, both sides, so much explosive damage coming out, but Rattlesnake, obviously they do hold, and they're going to take back a little bit of the lead here.
What a huge hookshot cog coming out from Bone 7. Caught two people, disrupted the rest of the team. Beautiful, beautiful positioning. That is the Bone 7 Clockwork, ladies and gentlemen. It may not be the Bulba Clockwork. I mean, Bulba, I think everyone would agree, is at least one of, if not the best clocks in the world. But Bone 7 showing he can handle this hero with the best of them. Absolutely superb setup for his team. Got everything perfect just for everyone to come in, follow up, and rip through that Quantic lineup.
Yep, exactly right. That's going to be great news for Eternal Envy now as well. He is going to be leading the way on the net worth chart once again at about 15.8k. So that is great news. He did have to burn the buyback, which was a little bit unfortunate. Pardon me, but his farm is looking pretty damn good. He's got another about 2.7k gold or so to go with that Satanic and the BKB. So we'll see what item he wants to grab next. Probably just gonna want to go for an all-out DPS build. And I think Gyrocopter there, Sachka, anticipating that he may want to grab a Butterfly. He does have the Demon Age in the inventory all ready to go with that casual Yasha on the level 16 Gyro. So I think that's a smart choice. Luna obviously going to be tempted with the Butterfly. Still may go for it here, but you know, already Sachka in a position to try and counter it if it comes out.
Absolutely. And one of the nice things about Demon Edge on Gyrocopter is it can go into the MKB if you're having a kind of normal game where you just think, okay, I need that little edge to try and stay in. And it can always be built into a Desperation Rapier if things start to go really, really badly.
True that.
So it gives you that kind of variety in your builds. A term I like to use from fighting games is an option select. Basically, you start with one item that can go into a couple of different items that you might want either one, and then you can get the extra power of the individual item you bought without have to worrying that you screwed yourself over if the situation changes.
Right. No, that's definitely right. Grabbing that Demon Edge is a nice, well-rounded choice. And this could be a game where Quantic may want to grab a Rapier. We have seen that happen, and it seems on Gyrocopter it happens more frequently than not, maybe partially because of that flat cannon. And in those team fights, if you grab it, the other team hasn't scouted it, you can just totally catch them off guard and wipe them up. And if Quantic feels like they're starting to fall behind and that Luna is getting too powerful, they may try that route. It definitely is not something I would count out as an option as this game continues, especially now that the pipe is down for that Timbersaw. Again, we talked about how that helped turn the fight there for RattleSnake. Sing Sing now with a pipe of Insight Blade Mail. Still that casual Vitality booster. Again, hard to say what it'll turn it into, but he has another 1,300 gold in the bank, so may start working towards that Bloodstone. No doubt indeed. 27-19 here at the 33.5-minute mark. We've got a pretty even match on our hands. The gold graph slightly in favor of RattleSnake by just about 1,000 gold. They do have a nice experience advantage, though. Something about 8,000-9,000, give or take, and one of the great things about that is the Luna. Highest level in this match by far, level 20. Next highest is 17, shared by the Gyrocopter and the Darkseer. Darkseer actually going to hit 18 now as we're looking at it. But Eternal Envy, man, he's got a great experience advantage set up for himself, and it looks like he will be going Butterfly. Does have that Talisman of Evasion in the inventory.
Yeah, certainly not a bad thing to be doing when you have all of this tankiness against magic damage. I mean, best thing to do, obviously, if you're just looking to be very survivable, obviously, get some extra tankiness against physical damage. You get the evasion, you get all the armor that you get from all the agility from the Butterfly, and he's going to have it reasonably quickly. He already has another 2,600 gold up. And, of course, the attack speed and the damage, certainly not negligible. And there's the relocate.
Yep. Oh, up there, yeah, we see the Bat Rider. I'm not sure what Arise was thinking right there. I mean, he did try and trap the Timbersaw on the high ground. We saw that happen in the last match, I believe. But unfortunately here, it doesn't really matter. I mean, Sing Sing can just Timber Chain away. Definitely not worth a suicide. Maybe Bat Rider was just... I know he was caught a bit too far forward, but yeah, just... I don't know what he was thinking there. All by himself. Going to be in a 1v4 situation. Not much else he could do.
One of two things is true right now about Soshka. He's damn, and he just negates my point completely by buying the MKB. So
okay.
He's got that now. But I was gonna say either he's saving for buyback or he's saving for Rapier because he was a little over that 3,000 gold. But no, he dashes my hopes on the ground, gets that MKB, and quite frankly, it's the smart choice.
Oh,
because
sure.
of the fact that he knows they've seen the Luna going for the evasion. She's kind of showcased that. They know she's going for Butterfly, which means that even if he got the Rapier, all they need is a couple lucky evasion procs, and the Rapier doesn't mean anything to the Luna anyway.
Yep.
So he may still go for the Rapier later, but for now, that MKB is definitely what he needed.
Exactly right. I was going to say, I don't think they're far enough behind that they need to go with that all-in strategy. Quantic definitely holding their own right now. But an important item pick up here, two big ones actually. Bone 7 now going to be able to grab that Orchid to go with his Blade Mail as well as the Boots of Speed. I think a great choice as we had talked about. Two sets of Boots of Travel out already for Quantic, so they are going to be a bit more mobile about the map. One on the Darkseer, who now has a BKB to go with that mech, so I was wrong. Didn't go for the Shivas first, or that Sheepstick. Went a little bit more survivability based to try and get those setups, and going to have that movement speed with the Boots of Travel. So also Boots of Travel on the Bat Rider now to go with his Force Staff and the Blink Dagger, also level 16, so that level 3 lasso, always something that we can look upon favorably. We see Jakiro now level 13, also has a Force Staff, so that's going to give Jakiro a bit more survivability, but RattleSnake getting a bit more aggressive here. They are going to move into the Radiant Jungle, looking for a long-range hook shot perhaps, not going to find it. But RattleSnake, man, they're going to be the aggressors here. They want to make it happen. That pipe going to help them so much as long as Sing Sing can get it off, and he should be able to. He is in pretty survivable as well as pretty tanky. So as long as he can get that off, they should be in good shape. Again, 28-19 here at the 36-minute mark. Roshan not going to be coming up for too long, but the Dyer's courier
that
going to
courier
get picked
kill
off.
is so big. Look at what was on it.
I
The
can't
Eagle
tell me.
Song and the quarterstaff, as well as Pili Dai's bottle. So that's
Oh.
God. That is 4,200 gold from
Wow.
Eternal Envy right there, just down the drain.
Do you ever miss the days of when the courier actually dropped the items? Moments like this, I kind of do. That could be
A little
spicy.
bit, yeah, but
This is
I
way
mean,
better.
I don't know. I do like it better this way. I think it's more balanced. But there were times like there are legendary Dota matches. There was one 2009 had a butterfly coming out to his Shadow Fiend. The entire butterfly got killed on the courier,
that's
dropped, killed.
That's pretty
and
ridiculous.
he farmed it back up and won.
Oh my god.
That was a ridiculous game.
That's got to feel good at the end, just like, yeah, 2 butterflies. I did it. Like, oh god. You're just like 6,000 short on your items compared to your net worth chart. That's definitely rough. But yeah, so this is going to be a big window of opportunity. Now, we'll see if they can capitalize. The MKB complete for Gyrocopter, as we mentioned, and any other big item pickups. Well, Visage now going to have his point booster, going to be close to that Og Scepter of his own. And we see Quantic trying to get a bit more aggressive here. They are going to press forward a little bit. The only one not with him is that Visage. He is near that mid tier 1 tower. And down at the bottom, Sachka actually going to port back. Again, BKB, MKB, Casual Yasha, and the Phase Boots right now. So he's got a pretty good bit of survivability. But whoa, Miguel going to walk right into it. We'll see Jakiro engage as well. Bone 7 taking a lot of damage here. The Macro Pyre going to be able to finish him off here outside the Roche Pit. Kind of a sloppy engage from RattleSnake. I don't think they were expecting the Darkseer or the Jakiro to be there. Now they're going to try to finish off the Chen. Aoi 2000 microing his way through the Radiant jungle here. They're going to try to finish him off. Visage in hot pursuit. I don't think there's any way Chen can survive. His Force Staff, Mech, and Hand of God are all down. And alas, he is going to fall. So Quantic going to snatch their way into 2 free kills right there, while RattleSnake were caught with their pants literally around their ankles. A 5v3 on the field right now.
Yeah, it was pretty big, and something that I don't think we got mentioned. Excuse me if you were saying it and then immediately got cut off. Ag Scepter on Visage, triple familiars right now, which is it's a big deal. It's a lot of extra damage, that extra stun, that little bit of extra scouting power, even though their vision radius is pretty small. But it's a really pretty excellent pickup on him, and what's really nice that the Darkseer, having all of this gold to get all the support items because he's Darkseer, means that Visage is kind of open to go for a more greedy sort of item build like that and get that Ag Scepter. It's going to be really interesting to see if he can make a lot happen with that third familiar.
Yep, that's a good point indeed. Darkseer now going to grab his first Mystic Staff, so either going to be the Sheepstick or the Shivas. Again, both of them would fit in very nicely to this roster. The Dire Courier going to be popping up pretty soon here, about 15 seconds, so that will be Eternal Envy's Butterfly in transit there. He's got another 2,500 gold in the bank, so he is starting to get scary. That hard carry Luna is upon us, and of course, well, it is good news for them. The MKB already countering it a bit. Batrider going to be able to grab another big item pickup here as well, and that's going to be the Yules. A Scepter we don't see that often, but Yules Scepter of Divinity going to be grabbed for the Batrider, of course, going to give them that reset on the player of their choice, or give them that lockdown to set up that kind of wombo combo on top of someone. Now, I want to ask you a question. If Luna uses Eclipse and you put her in Yules, what happens? Does the Eclipse still go off like normal?
Oh,
Does
yeah,
that do
yeah,
anything to counter? Okay, I was
Still
thinking, I
runs.
just not an item combination we see too often, trying to think about those mechanics. I'm quizzing you, man. Pop quiz coming out. So bummer.
Cool.
All right.
The Yules is largely for the 35 extra move speed to let him drag people further faster.
That's a good
He'll
point, yeah.
occasionally see Mask of Madness on Batrider actually
Oh, yeah.
to get that extra move speed.
Sure, yeah, we've seen that a time or two, but whoa, there's the hook shot. They're going to rotate their way into the Radiant jungle, and I say they, being RattleSnake, the Orchid going to get used on Jakiro, Miguel going to port in, going to use the mech right away, Jakiro going to survive, so here we go, Bone 7 going to have that ult on cooldown for another 45 seconds. We'll see what Quantic want to do here. Always going to be an option. I'm going to try to avoid using, avoid the urge of saying capitalize. I know that's one of the words that I say over and over. Thank you for pointing that out, chat. But here we go. Quantic going to go straight up the mid lane here. They're going to pressure that tier 3 tower in the mid. The Glyph going to get burned right away as RattleSnake are a bit out of position. They are going to catch some familiars here right outside the Roshan pit. We see that micro coming down as they go into stone form. And Roche, he has actually respawned. So Roche is back up. Going to be the second Roche kill of the match. Still no cheese in the inventory. But with that Glyph down, again, RattleSnake, you know, it could be a little bit difficult for them to try to defend if Quantic want to get super aggressive here. Burning that Glyph, always a little bit of a victory. We see Batrider along the side here, perhaps looking to catch someone off guard, but not going to find it. So,
If they were to catch...
Go ahead. Sorry.
If RattleSnake was to catch Quantic right now, it would be really, really terrible because Gyro does not have port boots and is just down there farming in the jungle. So you know Quantic doesn't want to get too aggressive because they don't want to get caught out of position right here. They would just be I mean, it would be a free Roshan for one thing for Rattlesnake, 'cause there would be no counter pressure, and they'd probably lose their mid tower as well.
Yep, and now Eternal
In fact,
Envy.
definitely. Look how low it is.
Yeah, gonna make their next tier. I was gonna say tier. Yeah, he's gonna get his next item pickup here. It is gonna be a Crystallis, so gonna be going for that Daedalus, no doubt. But whoa, Bat Rider's invisible right now. Oh, that the hook shot gonna go through him, gonna connect with the Jakiro there. The Eternal Envy gonna be brought in with a relocate. This could be a bad fight for Quantic to start it off. The Visage taking a lot of damage. I think Mania may be the first to fall. He's gonna get 3 familiars out. Hook shot gonna be used. He is gonna go down. Clockwork and Luna gonna fall as well. Oh no, the Macro Pyre gonna come out. It is gonna be Quantic who comes out ahead. Whoa, it's gonna be a 1 for 3 right now. Only train their Visage. Now Sing Sing gonna be in trouble. The Gem of Sight gonna fall. That's gonna be a 4 for 1. I thought Rattlesnake were gonna have the advantage there, but Quantic completely turn it around again. That Jakiro Darkseer combo, just a bit too much for Rattlesnake to handle, despite having the pipe to try to absorb some of that magic damage.
This is one of those times when I usually like to give something insightful, or like, look, this was this seriously clutch play, blah, 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 blah. I really thought Rattlesnake had that, man. I thought they'd, like, I watched Quantic walk into what started out as a 3v3, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, you're so dumb, you're gonna get Wisp ported on and lose everybody.
Yeah,
because
exactly
you can't trust, you can't trust that it's a 3v3 when there's a Wisp on the map, and you know the Luna isn't there, and the Wisp has to be with her, right?
Yep.
But it didn't matter. They just came in and won anyway. It's like just showing me that team fight power they have is obscene, and the Gyro came in at just the right time to clean everyone up with that flat cannon damage. It was awesome.
And also, Gyro now has a butterfly. That's absolutely huge. There's no MKB on our dire side, but we'll hold that thought as more initiation happening here. Luna gonna buy back. We're gonna see a team fight erupt at the tier 3 inside the dire base. They're gonna press forward. Still no one down quite yet. Eternal Envy gonna poke forward. He's gonna get lassoed. Does have the BKB on. Gonna get pulled straight into an ice path, and that's gonna be the end of his BKB. Pylai Die gonna venture out too far forward. That'll be the end of the Wisp. Quantic, they've got the sustain. They can do it. The big item pickup, though, is that Ninja Butterfly pickup. When did Arise have the goal to finish that off? There's no MKB, and now they have a huge carry advantage. They're going to make it happen again. They're going to press into the base. The Luna and Chen going to fall. Triple kill coming out for Sachka. It's going to be GG. Rattlesnake going to be forced to tap out. Quantic going to be able to do it, and we well may be looking at a 4-way tiebreak for those bottom 3 positions to see who's going to make it to the top 3 to move into the double elimination finals of Starladder Season 7. I'm going to call it an upset. I think Rattlesnake had what it took to get that game. Luna was ahead for pretty much the entire match, and it just takes that one bad team fight for that inverse spiral, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Quantic going to be able to do it. Now Rattlesnake going to have to take out 4FC, and then after that, we're looking at some tie-break options.